What is up, Wholesale to Million family? We're back with another subscriber first wholesale deal interview, and this one is crazy. I got Armando here, all right? Just closed his first wholesale deal for 105G. Let me say that again, $105,000. I'm gonna have him share with you guys, obviously, the exact step of how he's able to close his first deal and made that big of an assignment fee. He's out of the DC area. So if you're from DC, show my boy some love. Comment down below, smash that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Wholesale to Million family. Be sure to boom, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the bell notification so when I upload a new video or when I go live, you get notified. If you recently closed your first wholesale deal, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Go to Khang, Khang, dot like a period, WTM. Show me a picture of the checks. Love to get you on for an interview to help inspire and motivate those that are trying to get their first deal, that it is possible. So no more further ado. Help me welcome Armando.
There you go.
Dude, congrats, bro.
Man, thank you for first, thank you for having me. I think I do want to clarify this, this is not my first deal that I closed. It is my first six-figure deal that I have ever done in a wholesale business. So I think there might have been a little misconfusion about how the communication came along. But this is
okay. So this is your first six-figure deal now. How long have you been in the game for, bro?
I've been on the game for a little bit over a year.
Okay.
A little bit over a year, and on my 2019 with 2020, which was my first year as a wholesaler, I break down a little bit over $1 million in assignment fees.
What?
And I always had
From 2019 to 2020, you broke $1 million in assignment fee?
Yeah, in 2020, I broke a little bit over $1 million in assignment fee.
Woo! Yeah, boy. Okay. So, Armando, here's what I like is share a little bit about your background, right? And how you got into wholesaling real estate. And then let's talk about your six-figure deal.
Yeah, definitely. I'm from Peru, originally from there, immigrant from there, came here when I was 13 years old, about, 17 years old. But I always liked the sales industry. I've always been involved into sales job. My latest job was to be a branch manager at a local bank. And I always loved the team building. I was a great coach, and I love the sales environment. One day I was on Facebook, navigating Facebook, and I saw somebody posting a deal. This was like when I first initially started wholesaling. And I was like, what is this person doing? And next thing you know, he was like, yeah, I'm wholesaling this house. And I was like, do you need to have a license to do that? And he was like, no, you don't need to have a license. And I was like, wow, amazing. As soon as I found out, 3 weeks later on, I ended up closing my first deal as a JV deal. I helped a wholesaler kind of close his first deal. And ever since I got my first assignment fee, which was $5,000, I never looked back. And ever since then, I've been closing a lot of deals. I have done a lot of drive for dollars, cold calls, and right now, I have a team of 10 people in my team, that we do a lot of calls and things like that.
Wow, bro. Amazing, dude. So, okay, so okay, now let's talk about the six-figure deal. Where did you get the lead?
Yeah, the lead I got it was a 20-year vacant owner. We've been talking to him for about 4 months. He wasn't ready back then, because he had a lot of sentiment in the house and he didn't want to let it go. So, and he was also out of town. So we've been following up with this person for now like a little bit over 4 months. And we finally were able to kind of get in front of him and actually sign that deal. And
okay, so now Armando, where do you pull your list?
So I put my list through PropStream. I go to PropStream, do the 20-year vacant lease, and I use batch skip trace to skip trace my leads, and I use my Mojo dialer. That's where my people call, and that's how we do it.
Okay, got it. So for those of you who's listening, let me break down a little bit here. So Armando goes to PropStreams. I use PropStream for many years. I think they have the #1 data for you to pull distressed property list. I'll leave my affiliate link right below for those of you who wants to check it out. you get a 7 days free trial. After that 7 days, if you don't like them, you can just disconnect, right? So, but like I said, they have the #1 data. If you want to pull, I'll leave the affiliate link right below. Go check them out. So you pull a list of 20 years or older vacant.
Out of state, 20-year vacant out of state.
20-year vacant out of state. So you really narrow it down.
Yes, we like to make sure we're proactive about that. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so now you take that list and then you go over to batch skip tracing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So for those that wants all this link, I'll leave it down below. Okay, so you take it over to batch skip tracing to skip trace the list to get the owner phone number, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then after that, what do you do with that list, Armando?
So after that, I put a list in Mojo, you know, that allows me to, you know, kind of like dial a lot of times, you know, it's a dial machine. So we put it on Mojo, and then, you know, from Mojo, you know, depending how the list goes, we use Podio to kind of as a ECRM, where we put a little more details and notes.
Got it. Okay. So, because a lot of people that are watching this that are new, you're probably gonna, you know, it's gonna overwhelm you a little bit, but I'm gonna try to break it down as best as I can. So, Armando take the list that he pulls, skip trace it over in batch skip tracing. Okay. Now he got the phone number. He take that list. Instead of using your phone, you have to call one number at a time, which will takes a lot of time. What Armando do is he upload it into Mojo, right? It's a dialer. So how many lines can they call at a time, Armando?
So it goes three lines at a time. You know,
Okay.
and we have my team. We have about 6 lines, so we have 18 lines running all day.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, so when you take that list, you upload into Mojo. Okay. What Mojo do is they will. I use Call Tools, but they upload into Mojo. All right. And then what it does, it calls 3 people. You said, right? 3 people at a time.
Yeah.
But because you have 6 people, so you're calling 18 people at the time.
Correct.
Now, whoever picks up, obviously you talk to that person, but what happened if, so I want you to explain, Armando. So what happened if you call and one person pick up, and then what happened with the other 2?
So usually the other 2 lines get hung up, you know, kind of like hang up, and then you just go with the one that picks up the phone. And then, you know, if once you hang up with the person, if somebody was pick up the phone, they will probably call back again, you know.
Okay, got it. Okay, so now how do you structure your team, Armando? So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I have we're about 10 people in my team. You know, I have somebody that works on our disposition side, that kind of, you know, source out the buyers to make sure, you know, depending where the deal is, if it's a buy and hold or if it's a flip.
Okay, but Armando, I want you to talk about, okay, let's just say I'm on your team. All right.
Okay.
I got the list. I put the list into Mojo. Now I'm calling people. Okay. So I want you to go from when you either making outbound call or receiving an income call from a seller for the first time, what do you do?
So as soon as we, you know, the way we do it is, you know, we have a script in my team, right? We follow a script, kind of that, you know, we really like to help people out. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we do buy houses, but our goal is to really help people out. So we have a script, we have a process in place, and, you know, pretty much I'll be the one that's handling the warm leads, you know, and I also have somebody that also help me with the warm leads, and we will call the, you know, the client back, the owner back, and we will put him on, you know, if we're meeting the price, if there is nothing else that's getting between us, then, you know, the next thing that I want to do is I want to send him the contract, so that way we can, you know, legally, you know, me and the seller go under contract.
No, okay. So Armando, my question to you is, let's just say that I got the list and I am working for you. What do that person do on that initial call?
Okay, so the initial call is kind of like a welcoming call, you know, say, hey, you know, my name is Armando, you know, can I speak to, you know, Mr. Smith? You know, if he's like, yeah, speaking Mr. Smith, you know, we kind of go by, hey, Mr. Smith, you know, I'm sorry, my call is completely out of the blue. You know, the reason for my call is because I'm looking to find out about 123 Main Street, and, you know, and based on based on, we've been driving around this neighborhood and we're really looking to pick up a few more projects. And I was interested to know if you might sell your property, That's what
Okay.
everybody's trying to do.
Gotcha. Okay. So basically the first one, you're just filtering and qualifying the lead.
Correct. Filtering,
Okay.
qualifying the lead.
So now if the seller say, yes, I want to get, yeah, sure, I want to get an offer. Now, what do you do from there?
So my people are trying to fully get things under contract, from beginning to end. But if they say that, I'm interested to get an offer, and we definitely focus on the house condition, and we don't buy all the houses that are out there. And we have a criteria that we focused on, and those are the criteria that my team know, in order for us to give an offer over the phone. So we asked the seller based on house conditions, so let me understand about your house, when was the last time you done any type of remodelation?
Right. So, but my question, Armando, is so do you guys actually make an offer on the first call?
I'll be honest, most of our offers come from a follow-up call.
Got it. Okay. So I got you. So Armando, so let's just say I work for you. I qualify, filter the lead, and the seller say, yes, I want to get an offer. What do I do next now?
So you will put that lead on your module, right? And the way my people train is, everybody that has their own leads, you are responsible to make sure you take that lead from picking up the phone to closing, and I'll be there to support you, just to be a support for my team, to make sure that we're closing all the leads, and if there's any training that needs to be done, or if they need me to show them how to close that lead, but their responsibility is to take it from beginning to end, to make sure we're sending contract and the contract is being signed. And that's pretty much. So the next step will be for them the conversation that I'll have with them is what's your follow-up plan? When are you gonna call him back, or what is that we're waiting for? Is it the number that we're not hitting?
I got you. Okay, hold on. So Armando, you have one person that does the whole entire process, from filtering and qualifying the lead, from making the offer, locking it up in a contract, to actually selling the deal.
Well, the one that sells the deal, it will be my disposition manager. This is a different person that will be handling my buyer leads. But when it comes to acquisition, my acquisition team are trying to kind of go from a cold call to closing,
Got it. Okay. So basically they take it all the way, just one person on that one lead, from that one person all the way until they lock it on the contract. And then once it's under contract, they hand it over to your disposition person.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Now, for those of you who's watching, see, Armando mentioned Podio. Podio is free. I highly recommend that you guys download Podio. It's a free CRM, which means you keep, that's like your notebook. That's like your go-to every day. You open it up to look at all your seller leads, all your buyers leads, where the leads is at, and all of that. So that is your notebook. Podio is a must-have. It's free. So check them out. Podio, Podio, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not very good with spelling, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Me too.
Now, Armando, let's talk about this lead. So what is the seller situation? Let's take us through the process of how you found the buyer and everything.
Yeah, so the way we found the buyer, it actually came from a person that we help her sell her house. She sold her house with us. We bought her house, and she came along with this lump sum of money, and she wanted to kind of buy a rental in the area that we just got a really nice wholesale deal. And the house was in a really good condition to be used as a rental. So we kind of introduced the idea to her, to let her know, hey, we have this opportunity that we just got here, and I think will be perfect for you, what you were looking for in the price range that you mentioned to us. So once we presented to her, she ran her numbers, and she was very happy with that. So she finally moved forward, and she was the one that bought the deal for us.
Oh wow. So hold on a second. So you guys bought a property from her.
Yes.
And then end up selling her this property that you guys got under contract.
Correct.
Now, Armando, do you guys only wholesale, or do you guys also fix and flip?
We're starting to do fix and flip. You know, I done 2 fix and flip last year, but this month, I mean, we picked up about 5 properties. You know, to do fix and flips, and we're also looking to, you know, do some buy and holds.
Okay. And how is the DC market?
Well, the DC market is, you know, is really well. I think, you know, the DC area is a little bit different. You know, when you're budgeting on construction, it's a little bit higher than Maryland.
Mhm.
But I think if you master your crowd, you know, if you master your backyard, you know, this is where I live. I think the opportunities are endless. You know, I see a lot of people that says that DC area is very tough, very, you know, but I think if you master your crowd, and, you know, you become the expert, then, you know, deals are gonna flow.
Nice. Now, what is the RV ARV looks like in the area?
Well, it depends, you know, like in the DC area where you're doing the Northwest townhouses, those can go up to like $1 million. In Capitol Heights, Maryland, that's the other area that we focus on. Those can go anywhere from like 300 to like 375. Those are like the ARV of the area.
Gotcha. Okay. Now let's talk about this property, Armando. So what was the ARV?
So the ARV in this property was about 375.
Okay. And what was the estimated rehab?
So the estimated rehab in the house was about 50,000.
Okay. And how much was you sent out to your buyer for?
So I signed her up at 252.
Wait, I'm sorry. How much you got under contract for?
140.
You got under contract for 140, and then you assigned it to her for how much?
It was, I think, 247. It was about
247. Now, what was your earnest money between you and the seller?
$2,000.
$2,000. Now, for those of you who's watching, okay, you don't have to put $2,000 as the earnest money. It's because Armando got too much money. You know, so it doesn't have to be 2,000. It could be $100. It could be $1. It could be $10. Okay. Just an FYI for those of you who thinking, hey, Khang, I don't have 2,000. You don't need 2,000. Okay. Now, how long do you tie the property under contract for, Armando?
Well, you know, this property came like quick, you know. I mean, we've been talking to the guy for like, you know, for like 3-4 months, right? But he signed a contract, I believe it was like Tuesday, and we were closing Friday. So it was like 4 or 5 days. It was fast. It was really
Holy
fast.
smoke. I know, but how long did you put the initial contract down with the seller for?
I believe I put like, well, when I was gonna put the contract, I already had the buyer. So for us, it was a matter of like, you know, it was as soon as we can. I believe I put 15 days, 2 weeks closing.
Okay, so 2 weeks. So for those of you who's watching, you know, you're probably not Armando. You probably don't have a cash buyer list on hand where you can get it sold in a couple of days. So what you want to do is you want to lock it up with the seller as long as possible. You know, I typically like to get at least 30 days, but I always shoot for 45 to 60 days. Okay, especially during this whole COVID, things, you know, things can slow down a little bit. And obviously so now, how do you build, now, Armando, how do you build your cash buyer list?
So I built, the easiest way that I built my cash buyer list was through Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace?
No, Facebook. There are a lot of groups in Facebook.
Got it.
Like in where I live, there in the DC area, there are about 10-20 groups. You know, there are a lot of people that are real buyers. I'm sure there are also a lot of people that, you know, that are not doing really good business there. But in general, you know, if you're able to sort out the good people, you're able to find really strong buyers in there. You know, everybody uses Facebook. I think the first thing they will see is their Facebook thing or their Twitter or their social media before they will even say hi to their wife or husband, you know?
Right. So Armando, now give people some tips on how do you qualify your buyers to make sure that they're legit and that they won't quit.
So I think the best way to qualify buyers is just, you know, give them a call and be like, hey, you know, I'm working on a few leads in this area. I want to make sure that when I bring lead, I'm bringing to a qualified buyer, and I would like to learn more about you. And what were your last transactions? Can you share with me, you know, your last project? And I think, most investors that are really investors will be more than glad to share you 1,000 properties they're done, including pictures and things like that. And that's a good way to build a relationship too. So whenever you do have a deal, you can just straight up bring it to them, be like, hey, I have this deal for you. It matches your criteria, and so that's the way I qualify my buyers.
Nice. Okay. Now I know people have been asking me this, and I want you to help me answer this, Armando. How do you set up? So how do you set up showing between the seller and the buyer, so that way they're not going behind your back?
I think the best way, and I think it has happened to everybody. It has happened to me. I think the best way is make sure you have a contract signed. Never promote something that you don't have signed. Once you have signed, make sure that the contract is with the title money and your earnest deposit money. So that way you make sure you're legally bonded into a contract, and you know that nobody can go behind you. I think that's the best way that I do, is like, if I don't have a contract, I don't have anything. Even if the person on the phone say, yeah, that's fine, I'll sign it, I will not do anything until the actual person actually signed that.
Right. But the question now, Armando, is how do you prevent the buyers and the sellers talking when you have to show the property?
Okay, so I mean, I for the most part, I like to kind of get a key, and I put a lockbox, and I'll tell the seller, hey, by the way, I'm gonna be bringing a few of my partners and a few construction workers, just to get a fair estimate. I also have partners in this deal that are very interested, and I don't like to inconvenience you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a key. I'm gonna get a copy really quick, and I'll put a lockbox. And if by any chance they do have like and I have clients that say, hey, I have very important things here, I cannot do that, but I can meet you here anytime you want. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be like, that's fine, we're gonna meet here, right? But I'm gonna be walking in with about 8 to 10 people, because I have partners that are interested in the deal, and I have some people that are gonna come see the house. So what I'll do is, whenever I have the time ready, all I will ask for you is just to kind of keep the door open, and you can just stay in the car, so that way we don't get on your way. And when we're done, I'll call you back.
Okay, so have you done one where the seller is actually living at the property?
I mean, I have done one where like the seller is walking with everybody,
Yep.
And I also tell my buyer, be like, hey, by the way, the seller is gonna be there, right? We all know this game, right? If you have any questions, don't ask me right here. Write down all your concerns, all your questions, and let's have a call later on. I have 10 people that are coming in right now, and I cannot be answering all of you at the same time. So just to keep it very simple, go in, check what you gotta check. Once we're all out and you're in your house and you got all your 10 questions, then we can talk on the phone.
Got it. Okay.
And while I'm walking with the owner, I'm just telling, like, just walking by, like, we're all friends,
Right. So now listen, so basically you prep your seller up, right? You tell your seller, hey, I got some partner, I got some contractor that are interested, my partner interested in a deal. I'm gonna, have X amount of people that's gonna show up. Don't surprise your seller. You want to make sure you tell the seller how many people is going to be there, okay? Don't tell them, hey, me and my partner, and all of a sudden eight people show up. That might scare them, okay?
Yeah.
So you got to let the seller know. You prep your seller up, let him know it's your partner's your contractor, okay? Then Armando, what he did is he also prepped his buyer up, okay? He prepped his buyer up. He let his buyer know that, hey, if you walk through whatever you see, take notes, call me later. Don't ask me on the spot. We can talk about this later. You guys know the game, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And obviously, Armando, you always have someone there to facilitate the showing, right?
Yes, you have to. Yeah.
Yep. So for those of you, if you do it virtually, or maybe even if you do it in your area, but you don't want to be the one that goes show the property, see if you can network with other wholesaler or realtors, somebody in your area. Maybe you have a friend or a family member, whoever it is. You need to have someone there that shows up to facilitate the showing, right? So that way buyer and seller are not there alone, unless you have a buyer that you already built relationship with that you can trust. Okay, because I have buyers where we have done so many deals where I trust them. They wholesale, they also fix and flip, so they know the game, and I've done deal with them, so I can just trust them to go there. But here's something I also want you to understand. Is don't let the fear hold you back from pulling the trigger. So let's say that you just got in the deal and you got a deal in another states. You haven't have your team in place. you don't have foot on the ground, and this buyer's interested, but you have nobody, so you're scared to set up the showing, and you end up losing on the deal. My thing to you is prep your seller up, prep your buyer up, qualify them, and then just pull the trigger and just do it. You have the contract between you and the seller already. There's already a contract in place, just like Armando said. So even if the buyers and seller trying to go behind your back and trying to do the deal, right, without you, there's already a contract. So legally, they cannot do that. So the buyer would have to wait for your contract to expire. And if he's not if your buyer really want to go behind your back, honestly, if they really try to go behind your back, there's really nothing you can do. Even if you have someone there to facilitate the showing, so what, right? They can always come back and talk to the seller. They can have their friends come back and talk to the seller. But, I think that there's more good people than bad people, but there's always, some bad tomatoes. But what I'm trying to tell you is just pull the trigger and just do it. Don't let the fears hold you back from possibly executing on a deals where the buyer is legit. And so before the contract is expired, you just got to set up more showing and get it sold. If the seller's trying to back out of your deal for no legit reason, and I did a video about this, and people are going nuts and saying, Khang, that's not so what's the word? That's not right for you to do that. That's not human. I'm the people that watch my video don't understand the word that is coming out of my mouth, man. It's like, I'm not speaking Chinese, dude. I'm trying to speak English. I said, if the seller doesn't have a legit reason, because majority of time the seller signed the contract with you and they trying to back out, 90-something% of the time it's because they got a better offer. Okay. So you went through all the work and all their marketing and your team did all the work and trying to get the deal closed so they can get their commission or whatever, and the seller back out because they got a better offer. That's not right to you, right? I mean, there are times where I let the seller go and it's a $20K deal because the seller said, hey, listen, Khang, I talked to my family member. My kids really want the property, this and that, right? And they come up with a legit reason. And then I cloud the title, right? Just to make sure. And then I just let them go. But I'm saying majority of the time, if they don't have a legit reason, you got to make sure that you do your thing. So anyways, Armando, I think with pretty much, okay, so now how much of a non-refundable did your buyer put down?
My buyer puts like usually $5,000 down.
Okay, got it, man. Okay, so I guess we're gonna wrap this up. So Armando, what are some tips, some feedback, some things that you have learned through this whole, time of wholesaling that you can give to the audience, man?
I think the best way is just, being not afraid, taking your shots, being positive and just self-development. I've done a lot of self-development, really strong. I think this wholesaling business is about sales skills. So you definitely have to grow your sales skills, your phone skills. And, it's an everyday thing. We're here, we're still making calls. I see that you were eating lunch and I was having my lunch here. So, like an entrepreneur life, we're working every day, every hour,
Absolutely, man. So Armando, when you first started, man, are you afraid to cold call?
I was in a sales job, so I have done cold calls in the past, but I had never done. It have always been more a structure of call, where I had a company, that had like backed me up as a cold caller,
Right.
So I think it was a little bit different. I was still afraid when I was making. I think being afraid is normal when you're initially making calls.
Yep.
It's like riding a bicycle. You will be a little afraid, But I think after a while, you'll be like, "Damn, I actually like this,"
Awesome. So Armando, how can people connect with you, man?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook. I'm Homes for Dinero as well in Facebook. That would be the best way for myself.
Just Facebook, not Instagram or anything else?
Yeah, right now I only have Facebook. That's the main thing that I have done. I'm gonna work on my other social media, but right now I'm only focused on that and just mainly grind.
Got it. So you guys, I'll make sure I leave Armando link right below for those of you who want to connect with him on Facebook. And once again, you guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope this video added a lot of value to you, and hopefully that you enjoy it. Armando, I want to say thank you so much, bro, for your time. And dude, 2021, bro. Let's go get this money. Ciao, bro. Thanks, dude.